Yo, 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 yo. Hope you can hear me. We are live. What is it? Thursdays. As always, on Thirsty Thursdays, our focus is on the water. Make sure you drink your water today. Drink it every day, but Thirsty Thursdays is the main day. So we about to kick it off. You probably with me live on YouTube. We about to bring in our Apple and Spotify people with us right now. The thoughts, views, and opinions shared on the Flo Show No Filter are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional. I am just good. Ho, 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 ho. I had a whole plan to just do another recap on the Diddy situation, y'all. Happy Thursday. But it's not such a happy Thursday. We had a tragedy coming out of DC area, the Ronald Reagan National Airport. If you don't know, there was a tragic collision. I'll let the news kind of tell you first, and then we'll go into what actually is going on. But here we are.
Holding situation. An American Airlines regional jet has collided mid-air with a military Black Hawk helicopter in the Washington, D.C. area. This collision happened over the Potomac River near Reagan National Airport. 60 passengers were on board, according to American Airlines, 4 crew members. Search and rescue teams are now on site. You can see there just the sheer force and size of the response to this, what is bound to be an incredible tragedy just outside of the nation's capital. Here's what we know about this unfolding situation. An American Airlines regional.
So we're gonna get into the fall of Diddy recap. There's a lot of shit that happened. I watched a couple more episodes. I watched the end actually, but I'm gonna go over a couple episodes. But before we go into that, let's send a prayer out there to everybody who lost someone in this tragic midair collision. What we know is it occurred January 29th, 2025, near Washington, D.C. It was American Airlines and a regional jet, a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter, and the aircraft ended up crashing into the Potomac River, resulting in, they're looking for at least 60 bodies right now. It occurred around 9 p.m. The jet was coming in, landing. There were like a person. Matter of fact, a wife had just texted her husband that they were about to land in 20 minutes. And that was the last text he ever got from her. Check this out.
Praying that somebody's pulling her out of the river right now as we speak. That's all I'm for. When's the last time you spoke to her? She texted me that they were landing in 20 minutes. Can you show us a text message that you got from her?
So she, if you couldn't hear all the way clear, that was a reporter meeting with obviously the husband. He said he had texted she had texted him, said she was landing in 20 minutes, and then that was it. And but why the fuck would that reporter? I don't know if you heard it. Then the reporter asked him, could she see the text messages? Like, what? He's literally seconds from learning he pretty much has lost his wife, and you ask him, can you see the fucking text messages? This world is going crazy. I don't know. Like I said, that's why I feel like a lot of times I'm an alien, because stuff like, I don't know nobody else I don't know if anybody else like felt a way about that. But good morning, y'all. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Shanna. I appreciate y'all keeping me company this morning. How's the weather where y'all at? It's beautiful here. But yeah, so y'all definitely look into that situation with the airline. I'm telling you everything we know so far. They have recovered 30 bodies. They have recovered 30 bodies from the Potomac River. Rescue operations are ongoing, but it is freezing water, ice, murky, dark, cold. It's just fucked up, y'all. And that's just how life is, isn't it? Like I had planned on, I mean, we still gonna get into the Diddy stuff and we still gonna do my normal. But it's just how life is. You wake up with one plan and then next thing you know, a whole ass tragedy that happened. And I don't give a fuck. Like I gotta, this show is about bringing awareness of what the hell's going on and keeping everybody in the loop. So I do my shows the night before, so I was already planned up. So I had to get up this morning and actually wake up like an extra hour earlier to see what the hell was going on with this situation, y'all. So what else does it say here? Trump spoke out on it, described the incident as could have been preventable, and emphasized the need for a thorough investigation to see what the hell happened. I have a message from American Airlines. They actually spoke on the situation. Let me see if I can pull that up for you all. It's just sad, y'all. It's just a situation that nobody saw coming, and we need to be mindful of the situation. As more comes in, I'll get back to it. I'll let them see if some more news comes in, but let's get into the Diddy stuff. Did you see the videos of the Black Hawk collide? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, Michelle, I didn't see your message, but yeah, that's what I came in talking about. But we're gonna go to the Diddy stuff. If I have some more time, I'll come back to the Black Hawk situation. But let's get into it. So, okay, if y'all know yesterday, the Diddy shit was crazy, right? I didn't even have time to come in. I had a rant for y'all. I don't know if I got time for that. I'll see. But I want to get into the actual news and what I came to talk about today. So if you were watching yesterday or listening, either way, shout out to everybody on YouTube checking me out live every day at 7:30 a.m. We kick off. And then, of course, shout out to my original OGs, the Apple and Spotify audio crowd. We started all this together. But if you were listening yesterday, we went into the fall of Diddy and a documentary talking about all the crazy shit been going on or that Diddy has done. And so now it started from when he was young and then it progressed into his career. So where I left off yesterday, I picked up and started watching some more. And this was so funny, y'all. Y'all know I call him Mohawk Diddy. And everybody love when I call him Mohawk Diddy. And now a lot of them don't even know why. They just like that name. Well, guess what? The episodes I started watching yesterday, I think it was episode 3, because it's 5 episodes. It was episode 3. They went into the Mohawk Diddy era. And that was like in the early 2000s. And what happened was, with all that crazy shit that happened, with all the deaths at that big party he had, and he was being caught up. Diddy was getting caught up in so much shit that he had to change his fucking name. And so that's when he went from Puff Daddy to P Diddy and to Diddy. And so they talked about that. He changed his name to Diddy to try to get away from the past shit that had happened. A lot of people don't even know that's where the name Diddy came from. He had so much shit going on that he had to change his name and he wanted to start a new beginning. And one of the first major things he did when he changed his name to Diddy is he did a marathon. And this is where the story of Mohawk Diddy came from or whatever. He ran a marathon. This is when he first had that Mohawk. And he ran a marathon and he supposedly had a bum knee, a tore Achilles, all type of injuries. And I think he ran, I don't know, supposedly he ran, I don't know, 20 miles. I don't even remember. It was so long ago. But anyway, he ran it and he was supposed to be raising money. He supposedly raised $1 million. And that's when Mohawk Diddy was born. Now, what he did after that marathon is what the hell he in trouble for. So that's where P. Diddy came. That's where all that came from. So that's where the documentary picked up at. And so basically, they went into more about the D Woods and Danny D. Kane situation, right? And D Woods went into how Diddy did a lot of unnecessary, uncalled for shit to Aubrey. It's a lot of sexual shit, a lot of sexual text messages. Aubrey, if you don't know, she was a member in Danny D. Kane. D Woods said that Diddy was basically talking to them like they were a piece of meat. At one time, he even told Aubrey, "You hot enough for me to fuck you now?" Like all type of just crazy shit. And I told you one thing about D Woods, that's somebody that I could speak for, that I know ain't gonna be lying. When I met D Woods, actually, it was in New York. It was around the time I think when Showstopper, they single was going crazy. Had just got signed, and me and Floyd Mayweather, the boxer, we had a label situation together. I was rapping, and we were running around New York, and I was outside of a hotel, and me and Floyd and all of us were out there, and then D Woods come walking out. I didn't know who she was. Floyd, we didn't know who she was. I was just like, oh, she cute. I was telling Floyd that, and then Floyd always liked to play, so Floyd called her over there. I didn't tell him to do that. And so he called her over there, and then we started talking, then we exchanged numbers, and we were cool ever since then. And I didn't know she was D Woods at that moment. Then I learned that night we kicked it and went to a lot of little New York spots. Anyway, I know her very well, and she is very much a stand-up woman that wouldn't be lying for clout. So D Woods definitely spilled a lot of beans. And then it went on to show that Diddy fired D Woods and Aubrey from the group Danny D. Kane. And if you remember back then, people didn't know why he fired them from the group and all of that. Good morning, Megan. And so Diddy fired them, and it come to find out D Woods says it was because Aubrey wouldn't fuck with him and wouldn't let him. Oh, right. What's up, Felix? Wouldn't let him fuck. And I was trying to think of a better way to say that, but pardon me. That's just what it is. What it is. So that's why they were fired. And now you look back, it all makes sense. And then he went on, also in this era, he inked that deal with Diageo. If you remember, Diageo was the liquor company that he got into it with. A lot of people say, and I strongly believe, the liquor company was part of the reason that helped Cassie to even bring all this about. So he got with Ciroc. This is all in the Diddy era. And he actually made $1 billion off of that Ciroc deal. Then we get into the dark ass shit. And this is how it went down. So the chef, I'm about to play an excerpt from the chef. The chef spoke up, Diddy's personal chef, and described some stuff that I think gonna fuck y'all up. Check it out.
Definitely intimidated. Some of my journal entries here would notoriously berate you, embarrass you, belittle you, having constant anxiety attacks and palpitations. I was diagnosed with stress-induced alopecia. My hair started to fall out. And then I saw a cardiologist who said that my body couldn't handle the stress levels. He said to me, if you keep this job any longer than a year, you'll be dead. When I discussed what was going on with a few other people that worked, it was kind of like a joke. It was like, oh yeah, well, you're official now. Welcome. You know, you're not really official until you have some sort of breakdown here.
Now you see, now right there, that was Diddy's personal chef. Right there, she was describing, that was just a clip of her describing what the effects of what she went through. She losing hair, stressed out. You heard her. A doctor or therapist or whoever she was seeking advice from told her if she keeps that job for a year, she'll be dead from distress. And so she was just talking about the work environment, how Diddy just fucked with everybody and just sexually assaulted whoever was around. And they were talking about they would come in and he would just be ass naked or have a meeting in the bathroom. And though they all be in this big ass bathroom, they say he have a robe on and take his robe off, hop in the shower naked, just doing shit on purpose. And they said that's kind of like how he kind of put out fillers to see who was down for the crazy shit. So then she went on to describe a situation where it got physical between the chef and Diddy. Listen in.
And he's like, you crying, and this kid's starving in Africa, and you over here crying. All you gotta do is cook food. He was just getting madder. And so I walk away and I'm opening up the refrigerator. I remember him saying, yeah, you crazy. And then I just remember slamming the door and being like, yeah, that's right. I'm crazy. And you know what else? I quit. Me saying I quit like enraged him more because he's like, you can't quit on me. You can't quit on me. And I just remember turning around and saying, and when I turned around and I said that to him, he used all of his force and he just shoved me, like he pushed me. And I went flying outside of the doorway and I ended up on my elbows and my butt.
Now y'all hear that? Yes. I hear you, Michelle. I agree. And she said, Michelle said he would have been poisoned the slow way. But that's what I'm saying. This nigga was a monster. He was a pure fucking monster. And it was like with no governor. And when I say governor, I mean like, you know, when you drive in a car or certain cars and they won't go over. Hey, Felix probably know cars that won't go over a certain miles per hour because they got a governor on it and it stops you from going over, let's say 100 miles an hour or whatever. That was Diddy. He didn't have a governor. He had nothing to stop him or hold him accountable. So he just, as I watched this documentary, like I know from before, like y'all know, I'm an industry baby. I came up in industry as a young kid trying to make it. So I've seen a lot. I've seen powerful people not pay motherfuckers. I've had to stand up to Floyd Mayweather myself as a youngin, and whoever else in the industry. Which is why, if y'all notice, I've been loud and I keep it real. But you don't hear no celebrities or nobody coming out saying I'm lying, because the same way I am now, which is why I always knew that I was a person of the people. I was never of the power. Like I've always stood for my people. Even when I was signed, $200,000 in jewelry on my body, running around being a rapper just like anybody else. Even when I was doing that and I had the world in the palm of my hands, even when I was doing that, I still cared more about the common person than trying to kiss ass to the elites. So this is how I've always been. So they know me. They know I don't play around. They know I'm very respectful. I'm not a bully. I'm not none of that shit. But what I am is I'm going to tell the truth and I'm going to tell you in your fucking face, whoever you are. I don't give a fuck who you are. You could be Floyd Mayweather. You can be Bill Gates. You could be Trump. You can be the next door neighbor who get on my fucking nerves. I treat everybody the same, fair and equal. I don't look at nobody as I'm not never a person on no power trip or none of that. So when I see this stuff come out about Diddy and what's going on, it just adds to what I already knew. But it's crazy when you already know some shit is bad and then you find out it's worse. Like, and you think like, how the fuck could it be worse than what I thought? So then when I talked about the shower, now that I'm saying about the shower, let's go to Lil Rod. He gave a little insight onto that shower shit I just told you, the little nasty shit that he was used to do, just be naked. Like that's like me telling somebody, telling my workers, we're gonna have a meeting, and they come over and we meeting in my bathroom, and then I just take my robe off, ass naked, and get in the shower while we meeting. Like that's crazy. But anyway, check it out.
His Los Angeles house, working in the studio. He said, I want to work in my so everybody we break the studio, get the instruments, and go to his bathroom as usual. And he strips himself in front of us and jumps right into the shower. He's looking directly at me. You know what I mean? I found myself getting on my butt. Felt uncomfortable. It still feels uncomfortable. I was very unsure what to think and how to feel.
So that was Lil Rod. So as you heard, he said he described the scene I just told you. And he said as he got ass naked and hopped in the shower, he said he was staring at Lil Rod. Now, see, the thing is some people might try to say, well, it's too many, everybody saying this, saying that. Somebody could be lying. But I'm going to tell you this. Ain't no way in fuck everybody lying. Ain't no way in fuck everybody lying. So you can use that excuse if you want to say some people lying, some people do. Hey, I'm with you. But ain't nobody going to tell me everybody lying. Because there's some crazy shit. How the fuck thousands of motherfuckers got crazy ass stories about you? To think that 1,000 will be lying. Now, of course, some people lying. We know that. We ain't dummies. We know that it's human nature to look that some people want a paycheck. We not disputing that. But you ain't about to tell me everybody lying now. You can go ahead on with that. So continuing on in the documentary, it got worse than that, y'all. Like this documentary turned the fuck up after those first 2 episodes. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Like I didn't even see all of this shit coming. When I watched the first 2 episodes, I was like, oh, cool. They giving like more information. They going more in depth about stuff. But I had no clue these next 2 episodes was going to be so crazy. Now, another situation. They talked about how Diddy, remember, if y'all subscribe to the exclusive content, you know how I've been breaking down all the situations of the mysterious deaths surrounding women that Diddy dated and their guys that they ended up talking to. Either the women ended up dead or the guys ended up dead or both. And they all followed a pattern. So like they talked about one time that Diddy, when he was trying to steal Cassie away from Ryan Leslie, I think at this time Cassie was only 19 or 20, maybe 19. I think Diddy was 37, 38, 40. I don't know, something like in there. And so what Diddy did was plan a fake trip. It was supposed to be a company trip. He did a whole fake Miami trip and requested that Cassie come, so she would have to come there alone or something, acted like she had something to do. And then he ended up putting the moves on her and they partied and whatever. Then he ended up stealing her or whatever, however you want to say it. But he ended up dating her and she stopped dating Ryan Leslie after this infamous fake Miami trip that they talked about. Lil Rod, the guy you just heard that said they was in the shower, in the bathroom, and Diddy just took his robe off and was ass naked. Yeah, definitely a weird ass dude, Shanna. So he said that Lil Rod detailed how every night or numerous nights Diddy would make them go out to the Miami clubs and bring back sex workers. He said this was a normal thing, and this was something that you would have expected to do if you rolled with Diddy. Lil Rod also said he definitely feels like his drinks were spiked because he said he can handle his liquor, and he said every time he drank with Puff or around Puff or Diddy, whatever you want to call him, he said he would just be out of it and don't even remember what the fuck happened. So my thing is like, why'd you keep drinking with him? But I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to judge. And then they got into this one. Y'all, please, trigger warning. The girlfriend to a worker who worked for Puff, the one that y'all that said that she was raped, she was taped and raped in Diddy's studio. And let me hear from her now. I'm gonna get some context on this one. Now, I'm gonna be honest. This was one of the stories that when we heard about it before, like when we heard about this story before, I didn't know if I believed it only because they said that she was found to have bribed, or that's the words they used, bribed her boyfriend to corroborate her story, basically to confirm her story. And I was like, damn, that seemed like a money grab. But y'all know me. I always keep it real with y'all. Whatever go on my mind, whatever I said, if I think I didn't really believe this story then, but it's kind of hard not to believe her when you hear it for yourself and she describes it. So y'all tell me what y'all think. But I'm gonna be honest, this is the girl Talia Graves. And I reported her story and I brought it out there, but I did say when I heard about the bribing the boyfriend with money, I was like, wow, she might just be looking for money. But after hearing this, shit, I think this one might be true too. But y'all tell me what y'all think. But at this time, okay, so before I let you hear, let me give y'all a background what the fuck going on. So what she said was her boyfriend worked for Diddy. And she would only be around with her boyfriend. And she said Diddy acted like everything, like they were just one big happy family and stuff, right? And so one day she said Diddy called her and said that they would give her a ride to the studio. Somehow they were going to the studio, and she assumed that her boyfriend was going to be at the studio, like everybody was meeting there. But when she got to the studio, her boyfriend wasn't there. Matter of fact, wasn't nobody there. It was just Diddy and the gang. So check this shit out. We went down the hallway to a door in a lounge that I've never been to. And I remember sitting on a dark couch. Puff was sitting there on the couch with me, and I'm not sure for how long I was sitting there. And I started feeling a lot more fuzzier. And I remember crying. And the next thing I remember was I was slammed on the pool table. I was naked on the pool table, and my hands were tied behind my back. And I kept trying to do this to try to figure out what was tying me. It felt like plastic bags. Puffy was standing by the bar, and he was naked. There was a jar on the bar. And he put on something on his privates that, like, I smell it. It smelled like menthol. And he was slathering it in. So
still trying to figure out what's going on. The puppy came up behind me and went straight in my anus, where I ended up throwing up on the pool table and screaming. And I'm not sure if there was anything coming out my voice while I was screaming, but
The shit she described is crazy. But I'm going to tell you, this is why I was like, oh, shit. This might be some shit, because they said in this documentary that in 2023, she was notified that this assault was on tape. And that's what fucked me up. They said, because it happened at the studio, so of course they had cameras, and Diddy would record shit all the time. And they say that this shit she described, and I'm only giving you a clip. You got to go watch the thing. She tell way more details than that. But it's crazy. And she described the baby oil and all kind of shit. And like I said, now they saying that this is on tape. So will this be brought up in trial? Is this part of the superseding indictment or what? Because if that, what she described is on videotape, Diddy about to rot. Like we thought he was about to rot. His ass about to rot. Because she described being tied up, bent over a pool table, and she's very tiny, so her feet couldn't even reach the ground. So her feet was swinging. And you telling me this shit is on tape? So I don't know. Let's continue, y'all. This shit, like I told you, I don't lie. I keep it real with y'all. And look at it like this. This is only the second documentary of Diddy that I'm even recapping. It's been about 20 of them. I only recap the ones that I think are actually good or actually giving new information or actually well put together. And I also research who's doing the documentary, because I can tell by the producer of what other stuff they've done, like how thorough they are. So if you notice, it's not like every time a documentary come out, I'm like, okay, let's review it. This is only the second one. So I only touch the ones that actually give some info, but this one is no joke. So let's continue, y'all, because it's even more. So then they go on to talk about, let's go to Phil. Now, Phil is Diddy's assistant. Phil is speaking out. Phil is a black man. Phil was Diddy's assistant from 2019 to 2021. And if you are forgetting who Phil is the one who was describing the Wild King nights. The Wild King nights are like freak-offs, but more intimate. Whereas like the freak-offs are said to be like this big ass party, freaky party, is still only invite only, VIP type shit, whatever. Now the Wild King nights are some more private freaky shit that Diddy used to do with people in hotel rooms or houses or whatever, but it was more of a smaller group, allegedly. So Phil's job was to keep all the phones clean, all devices clean. And when I say clean, he said he had to scrub all the information about freaky shit, all the sexual searches, anything on that phone, iPad, or device. His job was to clean it. Also, he also had to, so we call him the cleanup man, because he also had to clean up all the baby oil and condom. Man, he described this shit. Imagine having to go into a hotel room, because he said Diddy should destroy them hotel rooms on the Wild King nights. He said, imagine going in that hotel afterwards, the hotel room, and you cleaning up semen, you cleaning up baby oil, you cleaning up blood, you cleaning up all kind of bodily fluids. They can't pay me enough, y'all. It ain't enough motherfucking money on this fucking earth to have me cleaning up none of that shit for nobody. I wouldn't even want nobody cleaning up. See, that's the difference. That's what I'm saying. I don't care how big I am or how big I ever get. Who I am to my core would just not allow me to do certain shit. I'm not going to make nobody clean up no nasty ass, trifling ass shit behind me like that. Not like that. That's ridiculous. Like that's crazy. So I got a clip from him that I'm going to let y'all hear. But Phil went in, and it's a black man who worked for Diddy for 2 years, and man, Diddy even made him fuck. Allegedly. Diddy made him fuck, according to him. So let me play that. This Diddy is a monster. And I always told my friends that when I met Diddy, I thought our interaction was weird, and I thought he was looking at me weird. But this was before, this was back in this was in 2000, and I met Diddy 2000 and had to be like 2006. Had to be like 2006, 2005, somewhere in there when I met Diddy. And I remember, I'm gonna go to the field thing, but when I met Diddy, this is when that Last Night Keisha Cole song was out. I was running, Manny Haley was my mentor at the time. I was on his record label. And it was the time when that Last Night song with Keisha and Diddy was out. And I was I never hung with Diddy. I hung with Manny and Keisha Cole. Keisha Cole was actually dating Jeezy at this time. This is how long ago it was. If y'all remember when Keisha Cole was dating Jeezy, this is all in that time. And then Keisha used to be telling me about, be talking about what Jeezy was doing and mad and shit. It was a crazy time. But anyway, so I went to this exclusive party with Manny. It wasn't like no freak out party. It was like an industry regular party in LA that was like at like some type of restaurant, but they had closed the restaurant down, so only certain people could come in there or whatever. So I go in there with Manny. I'm chilling. I'm a type person. I'm always kind of just doing my own thing. I don't be in nobody's face. Like, I'm not impressed, but I'm also very respectful. I respect everybody, but I'm not like somebody who just get all stupid because celebrities around. So Manny was like, oh my boy, Manny and Diddy are cool. So Manny was like, oh, my boy Puff. I think we still calling him Puff then. Then Manny was like, oh, my boy Puff over there. Come on, Flo, come meet Puff. I'm like, all right, cool. So I went over there to meet Puff. And so, like, as a guy, when you meet somebody, you kind of know, especially when it's just gonna be a quick meeting, you kind of know what people gonna say. It's like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Like your music, whatever. So when he took me over there to meet Diddy, he was like, he introduced me. He's like, yeah, Diddy, it's my artist, H Flo. You know, my rap name was H Flo. So Diddy looks at me, and when I went to shake his hand, first of all, I'm trying to shake his hand like a real shake. He had like his hands kind of soft or something. So that was the handshake was weird, but this is all shit that I didn't think too much of it at this time. And so then, you know, when you handshake and you kind of lean in, I'm thinking he's gonna say, you know, nice to meet you or something like that. First thing he says is, you heard that new Keisha, that new Keisha record that I got out? And I'm like, nigga, that bitch playing everywhere. What do you mean have I heard it? Yeah, I heard it. I ain't say that to him. I'm thinking in my head, like, of course I heard it. Nigga, it's playing every fucking where on earth right now. But I just like, yeah, that shit hot. You know, I'm giving him his props. But I was thinking, like, why is that the first thing you saying to me? So anyway, but then the nigga looking all crazy. So I ended up just kind of saying nice to meet you type shit and told Manny that I was going back to where we was. So I don't know if Diddy felt the way because I just slid and he was expecting me to be all going crazy. I don't even know. But my friends will tell you to this day, I always told them, like, I can't put my finger on it, but I was like, when I met Puff, that shit was weird. And I know how guys meet guys. And he was looking he wasn't looking at me like a guy's supposed to look at a guy. Like, I don't know. But anyway, I got the fuck away from him, and that was it. So I've only spoke to Diddy one time in my life, and that was when Manny introduced us, and he was looking weird then to me. And my friends will tell you that. I told them even before all this shit hit, I told them about that story, and they would be like, I don't know. I'm like, man, I don't know what he was looking at, but I ain't like how he was looking at it. I ain't like it. So let's get into what Phil got to talking about.
On a daily basis, we had to keep those things stopped. Phil, can you come back upstairs to help me set up the red lights? I get a lot of voice notes from Diddy. Daily, hourly, 5 minutes, every 5 seconds.
Would you ever be asked to bring things to Diddy during a Wild King night while it was ongoing?
Sure. So I need some Cialis. Give me 20 Xanax, please. Plan B. I need 10 mushroom capsules, the microdose. Bring it out to me, please.
What would you see when you would go into the room?
There wouldn't be anything happening while you were walking into the room.
There would be people there. What can you tell us about who the guests were?
A lot of times there was.
So if you could hear, those were actually voice notes from Diddy asking Phil to bring mushrooms and drugs and Molly and Adderall and all type of stuff. I didn't play them all, but this guy actually had voice note messages from Diddy that he was playing on the documentary. And it's basically red-handed because when they look at the charges, they're saying one of the things he did is he had his workers go get drugs and do all this sex work and shit, right? That's literally red-handed that you're caught. That's in the indictment. And this, if you have voice notes saying that I'm telling you to go get drugs for me and shit like that, that don't look good for your case. We them boys made it. Thank you. Anybody else listening, get you a Flo Pacino every morning. I know it's early, but for one, I'm an early bird. And second, I have to get this show done so my audio crowd can have it before 9 o'clock, somewhere in the 8 o'clock range a.m. So I got to start this one at like 7:30 so that can happen. So I know it's early, but I appreciate y'all for joining your boy. We got Shannon in the building, Felix, we them boys in the building, Michelle, and more. Come on and join us. If you ain't joined us today, join us tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. for the Friday show. I call it the Flo Pacino in the morning because it's early as fuck and I know it, and I don't like coffee. So, yeah. So Phil is spilling the beans, and so they even talked about how phony this day was.
Difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you gotta do that. I mean, I hit rock bottom. I made no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
The apology actually sent me into a rage.
I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
For him to have said that he was at rock bottom and it was the worst point in his life, he was a liar. It's another performance. And it's a full-on lie. Like, come on, bro. Like, you sound like, just shut the don't talk anymore.
Hey, when a woman tell you to shut the fuck up, don't talk anymore, you done got on their last fucking nerve. I know that. But that was about that they spoke on that apology Diddy gave, and they talked about how it was full of shit. He was just acting. You know, these are his workers, y'all. These are people that have been with him almost even up to recently, not just. A lot of time we be hearing about people from 30 years ago, but now these people that's talking, damn near just was working for Puff. And they said that apology, they say he was full of shit. And so also, did D Woods has some shit to say. And I already told you what they said about the Danny Kane. Here go D Woods, my girl.
Bring up awful memories. See myself standing in those dark, scary, predatory spaces and hearing somebody say some of the most degrading things to me, and at the age of 20 and 21, having to figure out how to navigate and not let that person break me down. I remember one time where the cameras there while we were like trying on clothes so he could watch us. He's going to point his little camera at us for Diddy so he can judge our hearing. I called it like Jedi mind tricks. This happened so early on. He was going one by one, just like critiquing our style. And when he got to me, it wasn't about the clothes. And I was like, well, you know, next to these skinny girls, I'm always gonna look thick. I'm working out, I'm running. I always feel thick next to these skinny chicks. Puff would just say, you look like you one cheeseburger away. You know that, right? You know that you one cheeseburger away. Like he wanted me to agree with him. And it was like I had to just take it, grit my teeth, and let him say what he wanted to say.
And it's just, now that's D Woods. And I told y'all, I won't stand on too many 10 toes for nobody if I don't really know them or really got real interaction, because I don't know what the fuck people will do or say. But I said it before, I'm gonna say it again. She ain't gonna lie. She, one of the people, like I always tell y'all, called one of us. When the few people in the industry that's one of us, I'm gonna let you know who they are when we talking about them. And D Woods is definitely one of us, and it fucks me up. And I'm gonna tell you how I know for a fact that she's not messy or wouldn't do that shit to advance her career. For one, I know she worked hard as fuck, and like even back then, just like me, we were young as fuck back then, and she stood 10 toes against Puff in that era. I mean, at that age. So you know she not trying to advance or do nothing like that. But I used to come around D Woods and Danny Kane when all this shit was going on. Because I told you we met right at the same time around when the show was going on and they had their single. And so, you know, me, I'm on the outside looking in. I'm trying to get where they are in my mind. And so I'm like, they would be in town, say they would be in a city. I think one time they were in Cleveland, and I happened to be in Cleveland, and D Woods hit me up. And so after their show in Cleveland, this was back in early 2006. I don't know whenever that Diddy Kane was going on. But so after the show, I met and came. They told me, D Woods told me to come to the hotel. I was going to kick it with the whole group, even though I was just cool with Danny Kane. I mean, I was cool with D Woods. So I get there and I'm thinking, you know, when you think people on top of the world, I'm thinking when I show up, they're going to be partying, laughing, joking, right? Because, you know, they performing and, you know, you just think everything is perfect. I get to the hotel room, it's quiet as fuck. And then D Woods comes out and you can tell, like, I don't know, it kind of looked like she had been crying. I can't say for sure, but I know she looked sad. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? And none of the girls was around. I guess they were laying down or whatever they were doing. And she didn't say what happened, but she would tell me basically like that Diddy was just fucked up. She never told me no details for real. I kind of read between lines, but it was just so weird to me. Because at this time I'm thinking like being on Bad Boy is the best shit ever. And I'm looking at Danny Kane like they killing it. And then every time I would show up, them girls would be crying. And I could not understand it. So now to hear D Woods actually tell what the fuck was really going on, like from her mouth, like I could guess what was going on. But you know, ain't nothing like knowing it from the horse's mouth, like, because a guess could be wrong. And so it really fucked me up, y'all. Like now looking back, because now I can replay all those times I will pull up to D Woods and it would always be, I'm not always, but you know, it was always some type of shit going on with Diddy. Basically, if I was just a guess, he basically just like was tormenting them girls, because that's what it felt like. It felt like he would just say shit or do shit to bring them down every time they were up, every time they were happy, or because it would always be like after a show or around showtime. And I'm just like, something ain't right. So, like I said, I can't speak for everybody, but I know D Woods ain't on no trash, because she had plenty of time to be messy. If she wanted to kick her career off, she could have been did it. She was big enough to do it. So anyway, then we go and we hear from the lady that say Puff shot her in the fucking face. This case is going to be crazy, y'all. I'm telling y'all now. But anyway, she said she literally saw it. She saw Diddy with the gun and saw him aiming. And then she felt this.
From the area of the melee towards the door. See them reaching their waist. I turned to tell my friends, oh my God, let's go. Watch out. Something's getting ready to go down. Just as I turn back and I look at them, see them both holding guns, and God said to me, be still, you're about to get hit. And I just see the muzzle flash. Grab my face, because I instantly feel this hot, torching flame on my face, and I turn my head and I'm like, oh my God. I got out of my face. I felt myself separating. And the cold air rushed towards my chest and passed through me. I could feel it pass through me. I was certain that I was going to be dead at that moment, because I didn't think a human could lose that much blood and still be alive. And I just... I knew my life was never going to be the same again.
And we all know how that how that went, right? Diddy was acquitted, so no accountability. And then Shine went on to do 10 years in prison behind that. So this trail of demise and destruction and all that shit that Diddy been doing, it goes a long time. So when I hear people say, oh, why you talk about this if we tearing a black man down? Man, I don't want to hear that shit, man. Ain't nobody tearing up. If anybody covering this is tearing down black man or tearing somebody, then what do you call what he did then? That's what I want to know. What do you call what Diddy did? For those that say that dumb shit. Because I want your daughter or your mama or any woman in your family to get drugged and raped. And then you say, we don't want no justice because he's a black man and he got money. I don't give a that sounds stupid as hell. I don't care if you black, white, green, or brown. You touch one of mine, fuck you. And I know these people. So I'm not somebody just reporting this shit. I'm recalling shit. And it is not, I'm telling y'all, it pisses you off when you go back and, you know, like I know D Wood. She a sweetheart to me. Like when you know these people, so it's different when you don't know these people. Some people don't have empathy for people if they don't know them. I do. Whether I know you or not. If it's fucked up, it's fucked up. But if you know like a person like D Woods and know that they working hard as fuck and know they got a good heart, know you could count on them, know they not a bad bone in their body from what I know. And then you see what the type of shit that somebody like a Diddy do, not just to her, but to all type of other motherfuckers. You gotta speak out. So that's why I speak out. Like I said, it's way more Way more than even what's been out. So I don't want to hear that shit. Y'all hear these stories. Steve Stout getting hit, whooping people with a belt. The chef, personal chef, just trying to cook food. She getting assaulted. Aubrey, Danity Kane, just trying to make music and trying to be successful. They getting fired because they ain't fucking. Dylon got a story to tell. Felix says Dylon got a story to tell. Michelle says this nigga was a bad seed. So these are the people who really want to see justice and don't give a fuck about how much money you got, you could be brought to justice. That's who I speak for. If you one of those people that think because somebody got money, you ain't supposed to talk about them, then get the fuck away from my show or my whatever, because that ain't how I live. I don't care about what you got or don't got. We all deserve peace. And we all deserve understanding. I'm gonna leave out of here with a crazy little story that I was gonna start off with, but then we had the plane crash and this and that. And I'm gonna leave y'all with this. This is kind of like a quirky little funny little story. It ain't nothing all deep, but y'all know me. I take little simple shit and I learn from simple shit. So I'm one of them people like I really in tune with nature. I like, animals and looking at them and looking how they live and just shit. Animals cooler than people. Like I got where I live at, it's a lot of chickens and all kind of like wildlife stuff. I'll be watching them. So a lot of times I go on the balcony and work. And when I'm on the balcony, it's birds outside. But when I'm when I'm not on the balcony, birds will come to the rail and perch. But when I'm on the balcony, they don't never come. Because they don't want, they stay away. So yesterday I went out to the balcony and let me give you some context. People know this about me. I'm real funny about, now I love animals, but like when I'm at the beach or I'm eating, I don't like when birds be flocking around me because I'm just worried that their feathers gonna get in my food or whatever. So that's just my little stupid, paranoia I'll be having about germs and whatever. But anyway, so normally, okay, so I go out on the porch and then two birds, well, first one come and perch and then another one come and perch. And like normally I would have shooed them away because of I had me some food out there. Remember I told you I'm just nervous about feathers and flapping and all of that. So, but me just being the type of person, I'm always looking at what's going on. And something told me like the way the bird was looking at me and looking forward, then looking at me, but they wouldn't leave. I was like, I ain't going to shoot them away. Let me see something. So then I start looking over my balcony and I didn't see nothing. Then I looked up in the air. And when I looked up in the air, y'all, it was a motherfucking hawk. A hawk, an eagle, something big as fuck. His wings spread across the whole fucking sky. He was looking for some food. I said, see, you never know what nobody going through. See, I seen those birds fly up and perch on my balcony. My first instinct is to shoot their ass away, right? But no, I took a step back before I reacted. And I said, let me see what the fuck going on. Because if they up here and I'm here, it must be something. It must be a reason. Like I said, no sooner I do that, look around, see that fucking hawk hovering around the area, looking for some food. And I say all that to say, see, you never know. I didn't know these birds was running for their fucking life. And they felt safe perched on my balcony out of harm's way. Now, if I didn't take the time to see what the fuck they was going through, I would have shooed their ass away and they ass would have been chicken parmesan. They would have been on somebody, they would have been on that hawk's plate. But I took a step back and I seen what the fuck they was going through, and I let their ass stay there. Now, that's a stupid little story, but the whole point is a lot of times we react and we don't think about what the fuck that person that we're reacting to, we don't think about what they're going through before we just condemn their ass. So from that story, you can learn, even when somebody pissing you off or annoying you, sometimes, especially when it's somebody that you know is genuinely good, just take a step back and kind of see what they're going through first before you react. Because I would have felt bad if I'd have shooed them birds away and then they asked what they got ate. But now I feel good because I didn't. As always, I love y'all. And I will be here tomorrow morning. If you want to join me live, like with the Flo Pacino crew, we got our own breakfast club going on. Join us tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. or just wait and listen to it on Apple and Spotify. I'm out. Another one in the books, y'all. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. Everybody who made it in the Flo Pacino. This for the early risers. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle said, good show. Hey, this for the early riser. A situational assessment. That's right, Genuine. Hey, my Felix, you on the clock. I like when you making that money with me. Felix getting that money. We making money together. Everybody on the clock, say what's up. I appreciate you, Genuine Xer. We're going to do this Monday through Friday, 7:30 every day. And we're going to keep this thing going. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. But to my video crew, this the Flo Pacino Club. You know, we got our own little breakfast club. We meet tomorrow. See you tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. Love y'all. And to my video people, I'm out.